All right, hey guys, we're going to go back for another VOD review right now. This one is from Overwatch University, and this is a Grandmaster Moira. All right, so apparently she says that she feels like she did well this game, but she's having trouble when it comes to helping out her Cass and her Winston, especially Winston when he's diving, and their Cass apparently had 20 deaths this game, so this is going to be fun. You don't often see Grandmaster Moira VOD reviews. So, let's see what we can do. Right? Okay, get started. Instantly looking at the team compositions here. I mean, even though Moira's not necessarily the greatest hero, she still has her strengths. She still has some things that she can do pretty well. Just because other supports can do them better doesn't necessarily mean that Moira is awful, right? She's good at healing in close ranges, dealing damage in mid to long... Well, not even... I wouldn't say mid to long ranges. I would say just mid ranges, right? But Moira is really, really good in tight spaces, which not many supports are. So I think that kind of works out for her. You've got Ana. You've got some diversification of sight lines here. Ana can control long sight lines. Moira can control short ones. Yeah. Genji, Reaper, Winston. So I'm guessing one of these guys swaps onto Cass later. All right. Okay. So realistically speaking, right now, all you need to do, and your goal right now for this composition, because of the fact that you have an Ana that can control all of these long-range areas, is just play in these tight spaces and allow your Genji, Reaper, and Winston to stage wherever they want, and then dive and engage with them when you see an opportunity, possibly mainly from long range, possibly from closer ranges if the situation allows it. I'll see if I can figure out anything else that you can do from here. Right. All right. And there we go. First mistake. All right. I don't know why you made this fade decision. You threw the orb down. And you took some damage, and then immediately you transitioned to running back over here. I don't know if it's because you didn't feel like you felt safe here, right? But this is poor for two reasons, practically three, right? For starters, you're compressing your angle. You had an off angle from your team. You had the ability to control divergent sight lines. Now you don't have the ability to control those sight lines, and also you're going to be putting yourself in harm's way. Again, that's kind of minor since they're not really pushing up and engaging onto you yet. Right. The biggest thing, though, is that this Reaper and this Winston really want to control this space. And they want to sit here, and they want to stay here so that they can stop these guys from taking this staging position. The problem is that if they stay here and they use this cover in this room, this Ana cannot heal them. So now they're isolated alone, and if they get pushed by a team that definitely has the capacity to be able to push them, they are going to have to be cleared out of this space. Now, if there was a Moira that was standing here, you can drastically increase the sustainability of both of these characters, allowing them to stay in this space, allowing them to keep fighting out here. If you need to fade out because you're too close, just fade back here, right? Don't get rid of the angle, just go and push and fall back to, a deeper area on the angle, just like, a little bit farther away. It's fine, right? But now, as a result of this, you're probably going to see in a second your Winston and your Reaper are about to drop off. Yep, there's Winston dropping. You pop bubble. And Reaper is probably going to be forced out in a second. Yep, there it is. Right? And now Winston's in again, but Reaper's already forced out, so these guys are completely desynced. If you were here, the Reaper would have been able to recognize that and then fall back deeper in here with your pocket in order to be able to sustain in this space. Right, because this is perfect for a Reaper. A Reaper loves this, right? Reaper doesn't love this, whatever the heck this is. This is not even a position for him at this point. It's just nothing. Right? Okay, and also just one little added tidbit. is that the area that you dropped to here, this is way too close to the enemy for Moira to be playing number one, right? And you're just kind of spamming heals at people, to be real, right? Like, I saw this earlier. Hold on. After this, you're kind of just spamming heals at people. I know you're kind of tap healing to keep people up, right? But you're not really doing anything that allows you to control a significant amount of space right now. You're just kind of reacting to whatever the heck is going on around you, and that's because your positioning is not necessarily up to par. I don't know if this is going to be something that's going to be something that's going to be repetitive, but something to take note of, right? Like turning your attention and focusing on it. Like this Ana doesn't need you. Like this Ana is in a perfectly safe position right now. She does not need you. If this Ana is taking infinite damage and dying, that's on her. Okay, I'm just gonna roll through this again. Okay. Let's come back. And again, another turning attention back to the Ana. I don't understand why. When you're trying, especially heroes like Moira, right? And by heroes like Moira, I mean, like, let's be real, bad heroes. Moira's not necessarily good, right? If you're playing like Moira, if you're playing like Life Weaver, if you're playing like Mercy, the thing is, because of the fact that your hero is like really, really poor in comparison to a majority of the heroes in this game, you need to be really, really min-maxy with your value in order to actually be able to stand toe-to-toe with everybody else, right? On Moira specifically, or not even just on Moira specifically, but on a lot of different heroes, turning your attention away for a fraction of a second on something that doesn't need it is actually going to compound into a lot of potential value lost elsewhere, because you're going to be missing out on some opportunities to give yourself more value in the long term, right? Even if it's something small like turning for half a second and then turning back, right? That's a time frame where you could probably be missing a window to do just enough damage to get a kill, or probably drop an orb or something that can heal or deal damage to somebody enough to get them killable, or at least force them out of a space, right? Now, in this situation, right, this Ana is all the way in the back of the map. She is completely safe. There is nothing that can kill her except for a Winston hyper overextending all the way through your team, jumping right on top of her face. And if she dies at that point, then that's a good trade for you guys. That's not something that you need to worry about. The point is, the reason why I'm talking about this is because of the fact that if something like this is what's going to take your attention when there's downtime, I'm wondering what's going to take your attention when you actually need to be able to manage it fully. We're going to see what happens with that too. Okay, so your plan is to go down with this Reaper and help your Reaper on this angle. Okay. Now you should have been just up there walking with the Reaper, right? But then again, stopped, turned attention this way, stopped moving towards the Reaper again, and now instead of being here, you're back here, which means that this Reaper goes in without you. Okay.
Surrender to my will.
Whatever. Yeah, sure.
Surrender to my will.
Whatever. Sure. It's fine. Okay. Oh. That's an Engi. Engi Gengi. Okay. Hold on. Yeah. And this is the problem. This is the primary mistake, right? You saw the Ana, you were like, oh, I got to make sure my Ana's alive. You turned attention to the Ana, you dropped off this high ground. That is not where you should be. You're in a position right now where you have options. You can decide what you want to do. You can go and help your Winston with the Kiriko. You can go and try and fight the Genji. You can go and try and deal damage to the bubble with the Winston. Help your own Genji. Whatever. This is the last of your worries right now, because even if you help this Ana, even if you support this Ana, even if you're giving this Ana the opportunity to not die, she is not in a position where she can actually do anything valuable for your team, right? This is dead weight right now because she has like 0 sightline. She is right next to a whole bunch of people that are going to be able to kill her. Any support that you give to her is not going to be support that's going to matter because it's just going to be investing a whole bunch into something that's not going to give you anything in return, right? Genji, that might give you something in return. Winston, that might give you something in return. And the reason why those heroes are going to give you something in return is because Winston is in position to deal damage. Genji's in a position to deal damage, right? Is Ana in a position to deal damage or heal or do any pressure at all? Not really, no. So this is not your responsibility. And also, not only that, but it is farther back, right? Which means you're giving up space in order to get into a position to heal your Ana, whereas you're taking space to help your Genji, taking space to help your Winston, right? All of these things are things that you need to be looking at and thinking about. Is my Ana in a position of value right now, or is my Ana in a position of threat? No. Then she does not deserve my attention. Who does? Who does? Right? If you're still up here, could have faded up here to help your Genji, or just like wait until they hard pushed you and then faded after that, and then gone somewhere else like your Winston or your Genji or something else, or just dealt some additional extra damage and whatnot. Like this Ana's dead either way. You're not helping her out. Nice. 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 Where did you die? All the way back here. So that means that the Kiriko TP'd all the way back here. The Winston jumped all the way back here. So now the fight is, relatively even over here. Now your Winston did die, but I mean, like, that's because you're on a, made an oopsie, right? More so than really with you. Actually, no, it is also because you made an oopsie, because you also missed out on other opportunities to deal damage earlier. But this is good. You're at least helping this Reaper not get absolutely cooked, which gives him more ult charge and which gives him more time to do things. Like he could potentially one-shot that Genji or something. I don't know. But still. Good job dying farther away and making it so that they had to trade a whole bunch of space in order to get the kill on you. There's not much else that you could really do in that scenario, so good on you. Now your Winston's still gonna, yeah, your Reaper's still gonna die either way, but I think it's fine. He's 99 ult. Okay, yeah. How do you deal with this? Stay. Nice, nice, perfect. And this is the advantage of Moira as opposed to like a majority of other supports, right? Moira's in a small, tight room. She just does like so much healing. Like you can just do this and then be completely safe in doing so. Like you don't have to force a whole bunch of cooldowns, right? Like if I was playing Baptiste and I saw Winston straight in front of my face on top of my Ana, I'd have to pop lamp in order to be able to save her, right? Because that's, this is dangerous. I don't want to die, right? I could go and try and save this Ana without lamp, and it could technically be possible, but at the same time, I don't want to die, right? Moira, you don't have to care about dying because you don't die, right? You just go in and you walk into this guy's face, heal this Ana, and then fade out when things get dangerous, right? And then you fade right back in to be able to deal damage later, right? Okay, now you have to think about this. Where do you want to position here? Right? If your Ana is controlling long sightlines and you are controlling short ones, right? Your Genji and your Winston and whatnot want to control short sightlines too, but they need help to do so. Now, the best way of thinking about how you're going to do this is you're going to say what areas can allow me to sustainably maintain my effective range, right? So like close range areas like this, right? Like this, that have access to mid-range distances and whatnot, so that I can go up here, start poking at people, and then go back in here and then pop orb down on the floor and then bounce it up and down so that I'm, staying alive and whatnot, right? Dealing damage as I go, finding opportunities to get maybe potentially get orb value or something else, and if I get pushed, then like fading back here or something of that nature, right? But at the same time, what that does is it allows your Genji and your Winston, if they want to stay in this space, to hold on to this space. Now, you could also go somewhere like over here. I don't recommend it though. The reason why I don't recommend it is because then this is a long range distance. You don't get to shoot damage right from here. You don't get to shoot damage from here. But, I mean, if your Winston wanted to stage up here like an idiot, then, I mean, like, you could help him at least with doing so if you were up here. I just like this position, personally, right? This feels good. This feels good for a Moira, right? And it also allows you to control sightlines that your Ana also cannot see. So that's great. Right? Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. And huge. Let's go. I don't care that your Ana died. Your Winston dove in with Primal. I mean, it's gonna be what it is. It is what it is, right? You guys got the trade at least, and you got more than enough when it comes to that trade. So, good job. And then you live, and then you deal damage, and then you pop coal, and then you help with dive. Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. Nice job. And also, there, your attention was on the things that needed your attention, right? You didn't go around and turn. Imagine if you had gone around and turned and went back to try and save your Ana from a Winston Primal. Like, not your job, right? You wouldn't have been able to get all of this value. Okay. This is nice. This feels great. Winston jumps. And I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I like this. I feel personally... I'd have to think about this one. Because you're already here. You're already controlling the space. Honestly, if you've just gone back here, you can still keep dealing damage to the Kiriko and also have an avenue into their backline over here to help with things get dicey. So this is fine. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you're already on this angle, you're already on this lane anyway, so backing up and just giving space back to here seems okay. Or back to here seems okay. And then you could just fight the Kiriko where you are so that she isn't able to heal or, sit here comfortably, right? Now, the reason you jump back out this way is probably because this gives you another angle to help the rest of your team, right? Especially into the nanoblading Genji, and especially into, this damage that's about to come. But this is also kind of giving space here, right? Where it's like this, you're giving up space, but you're kind of holding the angle. This is giving up space and giving up the angle. Now you're kind of setting up a new one at the same time. So this might be okay, but at the same time, it's a little bit iffy. I don't think that you're going to be able to do anything to save this. I don't think anything's going to be able to do anything to save this. Your Ana probably shouldn't have been down here in the first place, right? Helping this Genji is probably going to be a null factor for you too. So at this point, you're probably just going to be doing meaningless damage over here as opposed to holding this and then maybe dueling the Kiriko over there, forcing Suzu or forcing TP, right? Right. See? That's kind of the thing that happens when you give up space, right? This is kind of just how it's going to be. If you go backwards on the lane, what's going to happen is that you're going to get hit with the same pressure that's going to get hit with the rest of your team. If the closer you are to the rest of your team, the smaller of a distance that these guys have to go in order to, change it up and then start shooting at you. And that's kind of the thing that we don't want. We want, you to be, on one side, you to be on another side. So this guy has to make a decision. If he doesn't have to make, the less of a decision that he has to make is, the worse it is for you. Okay? You heard it. You heard it. You heard it. You saw the Genji died. Right? You heard it. You saw the Genji died. Your attention went back to a Winston. Now, the Winston is actively doing things, yes, but he's on this side of the map. You are on this side of the map. So your attention shouldn't be on this side of the map. Why? because this side of the map is just as important. You have the ability to control it and take space. Imagine instead of, like, let's say this Winston takes a bunch of damage and then starts dying. Whatever, who cares, right? First of all, he's grossly overextending either way, so it doesn't matter. But imagine instead, let's say Winston takes a whole bunch of damage and starts dying, but you kill this Genji, clear out this space, and now you have an angle on the backline to harass their backline. Right, so once this monkey jumps back out and then jumps, if he does, and then jumps back in, you're right here with an orb and some damage helping this monkey out later, right? You don't need to make up for this guy's idiot mistakes. What you realistically need to do is set up your own opportunities, and the only way that you're really going to do that is by keeping your attention on what's on your angle, right? Because now Winston survives, you know, go figure, who would have thunk, and Genji's still here, and you're not up here to stop him. So that means that Reaper is going to waste time shooting at this Genji before he gets back here to try, you know, like go and shoot people on the back or something like that. And it's going to be a little bit more annoying for this Reaper to win against that Genji. If your Reaper dies, it's like 100% on you at that point, right? And then what happens again? You have to fade in. You have to use cooldowns to get back to the situation where you could have just been here before already. Yada yada yada. I'm yapping at this point. I think you've probably gotten all of the details as to why this is not necessarily optimal. Right? Okay. Why is attention going to this Genji? Why is attention going to this Genji? No. He is full HP. He is fresh out of spawn. The enemy literally has no ability to shoot at him at all. And you're turning your attention away to this Genji. Right now, your goal, your focus should be on dealing damage to this Hanzo or setting up yourself in a position to deal even more damage later down the line. Like this should die. This should die. Which it does die, but not by your hand. And now you should be shooting at this Genji, right? And pushing this Genji out. Or shooting at this Winston, right? Probably Genji first, but then shooting at this Winston. And then you should be taking more space. And then you should be able to set up an angle over here to start shooting at this guy. All right? That's all you need to do. Oh, no! This is bad. This is bad. And this is, again, the same thing that we were talking about when we came to off angles and attention. Right? You need your attention that's on this angle. You've already been on this angle. You've committed to this angle. You need to your attention on this angle, right? If your entire team compresses and goes all the way back here, right? Like your entire team is right back here. If they want to get out of this room, all of their attention is going to be on this doorway, right? No one's going to be able to walk out without taking like 50 trillion bullets to the face. This is just going to be how it is with all choke points. No one's going to be able to do this. All of the attention is going to be this way, and you're not going to be able to get a divergent sight line to be able to deal damage to anything. If they want to, like if this Ana back here wants to avoid their LOS, boop, right? If this Genji wants to avoid their LOS, that he, you know, he can do whatever the heck he's doing currently right now, right? But imagine if you were here, right? Instead, this Genji would have to avoid your LOS, so he'd have to go out here, but then if he goes out here, he's not avoiding your team's LOS, and that's just kind of how it works. That's how controlling space works. That's how off angles work. Here's the deal, though, is that this doesn't help you in the slightest. If you run from one side of the map all the way back to another side of the map where the rest of your team already is, it's just going to compress your angle, you're controlling less space, and now you're giving up opportunities over here. All right? Right. So, things to look out for. I like this. I like this rotation. I'm not entirely certain about the fade up here, because you don't see you don't see all of the information, and especially the orb, right? Because if this Genji kind of decides to go and push onto you right now, then you're kind of cooked, because you don't have fade or orb to do anything about it. But I don't think that this is absolutely horrible. This is horrible, though. This is bad. Right? You're up here, you're in a position to push out this Ana to deal damage to this Ana, and now you're going back to heal a Winston. This Winston, if he's dead, he's dead. Right? Not your problem. Why? Because you are turning attention away from the space to be taken to the space that you already have. That is it is being taken by the enemy, sure. If your attention was already here in the first place, then you probably can continue to try and deal damage to this Genji or something while you're healing this Winston, sure. But you're already here, and you have the ability to do something really, really valuable, which is take the attention away from their supports. Because if you're sitting here and you're shooting at their supports and their supports turn their attention to focus you and they're not healing their team, then it means that these guys aren't getting healed, which means that this damage matters more. This damage matters more, right? This damage matters more. These guys start dying faster. Even if your Winston dies here, these guys start dying like crazy. Then they start running out, which gives your team space to keep on pushing up even further. You're helping your entire team, right? You're helping your entire team. It doesn't matter if this guy's dying. Keeping people alive is not necessarily your responsibility, because even though you're a quote-unquote support, your responsibility is the same as everyone else's responsibility, and that's to apply as much pressure as possible and take as much space as possible, right? This gives you that. It gives you the space. It gives you the pressure. This doesn't, right? This doesn't. And the reason why I'm saying it doesn't isn't because it won't potentially in the long term. The reason why I'm saying it doesn't is because it's less efficient than the opportunity that you already had, because these guys are being idiots and you could have punished that. And now you have to pop a cold to get out of spawn. And even still, off of popping like 2 ults and getting a whole bunch of picks, you guys are still fighting on point. Hold on 1 second. Alright. Alright. Okay, this is another one of the situations where we need to start thinking about positioning where we're going to start taking this fight up here. Now, your Winston is being really, really stupid, honestly. Right? I don't think that this is a good idea. As much as, like, I love the whole DPS Moira flank playstyle, because I used to do that myself back in the day. Problem is that your team is all the way back here. So it means that these guys are going to have a really, really easy time clearing you out. You go up here and make this fade jump right here. Like, these guys are all these guys. They don't have to pay attention to your team that's over here, right? Like, because your team is not a threat. Your team is not a problem at all. So all they realistically have to do is just like send like everybody up here to kill you and push you out, and then you die. That's it. I don't know if that's gonna happen because I don't know if these guys have brains. Because they don't. They don't have brains. No. But if they had brains, you would have been dead there, and honestly, that's not something that you should be banking on them not having brains. Right? Now, in terms of the execution of this, because I used to play DPS Moira back myself, this is not necessary. I wouldn't necessarily say this is the best execution, right? You're up here, you're up in this position, you need to wait until, like, attention is being placed onto you to know that you're going to get cleared out from here, right? And by whom? Right. This drop is kind of nice as a fake out, but at the same time, you're gonna pop like this orb pop like right here, and I think you missed it, which is the, or no, that was the orb that you initially thrown in the first place, right? What you realistically need right now is distance and cover, right? That's how you're gonna win this. So if you jump up here and like you hold this angle this way, if anybody starts pushing you, you can have cover and you can just like isolate the angle individually. What you need to make sure is that you're not taking a direct 2v1 without your heal orb, right? If you're taking a direct 2v1, you're going to be wanting to be in a position like this where you can pop heal orb up and down and then just dodge. Even then, it's going to be iffy, right? You want to split this into like 2 different individual 1v1s, which means that you need distance, because with distance, it means that you can make it so that any distance between these two, right, you can adjust that by making one of them closer and one of them farther away by simply doing something like this, right? So now Ana's closer and you can 1v1 Ana, and then Kiriko has to run to you, and then in the time she gets to you, you can fade out and then repeat the loop again. This pathing over here, like dropping down here and then going up to here, it just means that both of them are equidistant to you, so they get to you at the same time. right? Especially if you drop down here. I would rather, if you're going to path differently, right? Path like back here. This allows you to keep pressure on the Ana. If they don't and the Ana ignores you, then it allows you to take more space later on. You're just not in a good space right now. You're not in a good position right now because you don't have your orb. So you can't use the heal orb advantage, right? Or the damage orb advantage. So right now you're just waiting until you have that orb opportunity to go back in and try and see if you can fish for a pick or at least sustain and engage. Right? So whenever you don't have orb, you're focusing on getting as much distance as possible. Whenever you do have orb, you're focusing on getting yourself in a position to deal as much damage as possible. Right? And then you drop orb like that when, realistically speaking, you needed to heal orb this. You needed to heal orb this and keep running. Right? If you heal orb this and keep running, because again, you're taking a 1v2 back here. Right. If your team loses this, which they are going to lose this, but if your team loses this, then that's on them, which it is on them. But at the same time, it's just like you're taking a 1v2. You're 1v2ing both of their supports. The longer you can keep both of their supports back here is the more that your team wins. It's just going to be that simple. Right? In fact, your team got back there and started winning video games. If you had kept these guys back, you guys probably would be in a much better position to win this. I don't know if you lose this immediately from here. But, like, you don't, but at the same time, it's still possible for them to win that. Okay. And then this is the second thing, right? Just another bit of Moira micro here. There's a Genji inside of this tight room, right? Which means that he has a positional advantage over you. In these contexts, in these situations, the Genji knows where you are, has a positional advantage, has the effective range advantage. You just want to sustain. You just want to outlast him in that situation. This is a battle. This is not a dive. You're not flanking anybody. You're not, getting the jump on anyone. You're not assassinating him. You are dueling him. And in a duel scenario, you want the heal orb. You want to just pop the heal orb down so that way you're not dying instantly, and then you can outlast all of his HP. Right? Because that was dangerous. If he had hit his shots, then you probably would have died there. And then you're going to walk. This is another situation. It's pretty bad. I don't like. This is. You're not going to help on point. Like, you're not going to help on point. I mean, like, realistically speaking, it's end of game though. But. Oh, okay. You ended up healing your Genji though, but there's probably slightly better ways of doing that.
Surrender to my will.
Nice. Okay, let's speed through this. Okay. Again, turning attention back to your team. Problematic. Not your problem at the moment. Was that for Echo Sticky Bombs? Okay, it was for Echo Stickies. Okay. And again, okay. Yeah. In this scenario, you know that this is going to be an angle that there's a Winston on, there's an Echo on, there's an Ana and a Cass on, and a long range distance shooting down this one sight line. You do not want to be here like at all. You don't want to be here at all, right? And being anywhere else is stupid too. What you realistically want to do is you want to wait until you have orb and fade, and then you just want to fade into this room. If there's someone here, duel this, like pushing this Kiriko out, and then just holding this space here alternatively, because then that allows your monkey to walk and hold this way, right? Because then now if this Winston has to stay here, has to, be shooting at the monkey and also have you shooting at him from this angle as well. So you just want to clear this, right? Okay, this is not great. Why? Why is this not great? Because this is not your space. You cannot sustain your effective range over here. These two things are able to play at longer ranges than you, and they're going to be doing so well. They're going to be poking you out well. These two things are able to play at longer ranges than you, and if you move out of this LOS into this one, then these guys are going to be poking you out. And then this is also going to be right here to be able to do damage to you as well. This is just not a good position at all, and this is not a good position for your Winston. In order for this position from this Winston to be good, this space out here needs to be cleared, and who's a really, really good support for trying to at least put in a, burn resources over time from a situation like this. Moira is. You just sit here and then you loop your cooldowns and then just keep on dealing a whole bunch of damage. If you get too low, you back out, and then when you get some heals back, you run back in, and then you just keep on sucking. Right? Right. That's just in a situation where you cannot maintain your effective range. Damn. It was kind of a waste of an orb, to be honest. Nice. Okay. Nice. Nice. Fade out. Heal that. Pull. Okay. Fair enough, because they use primal, so Cole is justified.
Preparing your cellular makeup. Come here for healing.
Like, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, your Ana is like coming back from spawn. Like, you need to be up. Like, you need to be up. You need to be here. You need to be here. You can't be sitting on cart right now. Like, if your cast dies, it's just over. And like, you have to fade into the cast again. And then you end up back here again with no positioning, whereas you could have stayed here, kept doing damage, been right up back up here, shot at this Ana, then shot at this Kiriko, shot at this Winston, and then win games that way. Right? I don't know why their Ana is in their back. Oh yeah, their Ana and Echo are right there in your back line. Oh well. But yeah, no, you should probably be over here. If you're over here, then it means that you have no sight lines and you can't see anything. You're up here, then it means that you have sight lines and you can see things, and then you can kill things. If this thing right here dies in the back of the map, right? Or if this thing right here dies in the back of the map, then like it doesn't matter as long as we can kill like 1, 2, and 3. Right? Which is totally possible. Like, this is so easily killable right now if you were back here. But instead, you decided to go from here, back here, compressing your angle again, and now you just don't have that same opportunity. Okay, apparently you do have the same opportunity, but you know, it wasn't necessarily as clean, right? Okay. Okay. No! Do it, 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 do it. You're not gonna save this. You might be able to heal this, sure. But you want to know what's going to be better than healing these things is preventing them from taking damage. And you want to know how you can prevent them from taking damage while dealing damage at the same time? Shooting at the enemy team from an off angle so that their damage starts to come this way as opposed to going this way, or this way, or this way, or this way, right? That's cool. That's awesome. That's great. And the reason why you can do that is because you have a suitable off angle and a position that allows you to sustain your effective range, right? This is great. This is cool. This is awesome. Going back over here and trying to, you know, help this and whatnot is just only going to allow these things to take whatever space they want, right? They have no supports. You literally throw a damage orb down here, you can kill both of these. Okay. Okay. And good. Okay.
Something more.
I don't like the drop here. I think you could just stay here. You should just stay here. Like, you should not be putting your... like, first of all, putting your attention back here is stupid because there's nobody taking damage here. Putting your attention here is fine because this is taking damage. This is taking a lot of damage, right? So you can help with that. But you don't need to drop. You could just literally sit here and just keep healing. Again, you want to maintain as much space as possible while doing your job. So if you can do your job and maintain a whole bunch of space, then it means that you're giving the enemy team less opportunities to take that space from you. And then you're going back again, when it's just like, just say, you have the space, use the space. Use the space. Again, look at what happens. Your team gives up space, they take space. Easy. Simple.
I am ready to unleash coalescence. Your end is within my reach.
Again, turning your attention in the cast. I don't care. Just go up and do damage. He's fine.
My ultimate surrender to my
This is cool. This is cool. That's not cool, right? Again, you're here. You're putting your attention all on the Winston. Let me heal the Winston. Let me heal the Winston. Let me heal the Winston. And then you're forgetting. There's a long sight line right here with a Cass and an Ana, right? Don't do this. Don't do this kind of crap, right? If you're here, right, just shoot at this. Just shoot at this, or just like shoot at this and shoot at this from here, right? Like, you can totally do that. You don't need to walk out into open sight lines to compress your angle to go to your teammates. You don't need to do that, right? Hold the space. If your team is there, then you can utilize the advantage of your team being there. If your team isn't there, then you can use the space to deal damage elsewhere, right? Where your team wants to deal damage but can't. Because then again, you end up compressing your space again, which if you stayed here, you could stop this Cass from walking up, stop this Ana from walking up, you know, at least deal some damage or pull this Winston back here towards you as opposed to into your teammates. But now you're compressing the angle, you're giving up space again. This is fine. We loved it. Love to see it. Love to see it. I don't like the aim of the orb though. Like, you should have, like, you definitely could have aimed that orb. Again, you know she's walking back here this way. Aim the orb this way and then a little bit more downward, right? Especially if you aim it at their feet and it bounces off the floor, it gives you at least a slight amount, extra little more time for the orb to deal more damage because of the fact that it's not just, you know, shooting straight through them and then just going somewhere else. It's, you know, basic Pythagorean theorem. But yeah, because that did like 0 damage. Track, like go in front of them with the orb, bounce it on the ground in front of them where they're going to stand, and then it's just going to do way more damage. Don't back up. Don't back up. Keep the fight here. As long as their attention is over here, they are not shooting at your team. Your team is not taking damage. Nice. Okay, and then you do this. I don't like this. I like dropping and getting the health pack and then taking the 1v1 there that way. Because that's a 1v1 that you can win. Because she's in your space. Sure. Now you are 4 seconds to you are 4 seconds to orb, but that's because you just threw orb, you know, nonsensically just out for no reason, right? Like, this is just a wasted orb. Like, if you still had orb here, then like you totally take this fight. Okay. Whatever. Okay, duck click. Heal this. Nice. Love to see it. Build alts. Build alts. Build alts. And you don't have time. Yeah. And then that's game. Yeah. Okay. So, let's look at the 2 biggest points. 2 biggest mistakes that I keep seeing that I want you to kind of eliminate. Number 1, right? Your attention. keep your attention on what's in front of you, on what things are important to keep your attention on, which essentially means if something can give you a lot of space or can allow you to deal a lot of damage or trade for a lot of resources, that's what your attention should be on. You should not be on it. Should not be paying attention to teammates that are really, really far away from the team fight. You should not be paying attention to teammates, that are, not in good positions to do literally squat when an alternative is possible. That what a better alternative is possible, right? You want to be making decisions that give you the most amount of pressure possible. And if that means letting some of your teammates die who are not doing good things, right? Who are not in positions to do things, in order to go and be in a position yourself to get a whole lot more value, then go ahead and do it. It's not your fault if they play horribly, right? You're not trying to make up for that, right? Now, that being said, you just want to give your attention, the goal is to put your attention on the position, right? If they're in a position to deal damage, right, or in a position to, make some form of significant trade, then that's where you put your attention. If they are not in a position to do any of those things, you do not put your attention there, right? Now, going on to the next thing that you need to work on, right, which is maintaining your angles. If you are on an off angle and you are controlling space that is comfortable for you to control, you do not leave that off angle to go back to your team unless the enemy team pushes you out and there is no alternative, right? The more you can keep attention away from your teammates on an off angle is the less damage your team is going to take. Not only that, it's going to be the more different sight lines that you are able to see, okay? So those two things are things that you need to be able to work on. If you're talking about a third thing as to what you can also do as well, is just be cognizant of your honest sightlines or of your other support sightlines. If your other support is a longer range support, which most of them are, you can control sightlines that are a little bit closer range as well to allow your team to take different off angles comfortably. So you can enable your team to take certain off angles like we were talking about in first fight as well, when they want to take those angles, but they can't do so because they would be out of LOS of their other support. You can position yourself in places to enable them to do so. All right. I hope these things help. If I really hope that things help, and good luck on you with your journey on improving on your Moira gameplay. I know playing Moira in GM is hard, but it's fun. So go ahead and do it. All right. Peace out.